what we would find after the 7th of October. When we arrived, we met a taxi driver, and as we drove, he told us he was a Muslim. But I commented, we live amongst many Muslims in the UK, and I just believe that we were both wondering what each other was thinking. We arrived at St. George's Cathedral, Jerusalem, and we'd been previously told, our friend Bookty, that he was very pro-Palestinian. And when we arrived, there were many UN workers and also NGOs who worked in Gaza. So we decided not to get involved with politics, but just stick to a holiday mode. The following day we went down the Nablus Road, and I just said to everybody, "Hello, how are you?" and smiled. And the relief on their face was amazing, and they smiled back. And the problem was, because of all the anti-Israel propaganda, BBC, pro-Palestinian marchers shouting from the river to the sea, that there were no British tourists. There were very few tourists from Europe. And it was quite horrific, actually, going down the little road from Jaffa Gate down to Damascus Gate, where the market traders were, because there was nobody. Just me and Adrian and a few Arab market sellers. And they said to me, "It's so wonderful to see 2 British tourists. They never thought they'd see one again." We went to Leonardo Hotel because there was a swimming pool and it was very, very hot. And we saw a lady from Edgware Road Synagogue, and apparently her son was a rabbi. She was crying. She said to me, "I never thought I would see a British tourist in Israel again." She never did, and she was just so delighted, and she thought that everybody in UK hated Jews. And I was so saddened because there's many people, especially in Dorset, who love Jews, who love you, and who want to help you and support you. Anyway, going back to our holiday, we met an Arabic Christian. He had a church there from the Jewish Alliance. And earlier in the year, I found some knitted toys of Jesus and his disciples, and I gave it to him for the Sunday school. And then he said to me, "Would you like to visit some Gazan people in the Mount of Olives, because they had cancer and they can't go back?" Now, had you just said that to me a few years ago, I would have said no. But God was softening my heart, and I was remembering the work that me and Len and Paul and Adrian have been doing, building bridges, and so we decided to go. We didn't know where we were going, we didn't know who we were going with, because the man who was taking us was a Muslim convert to Christianity, and if his family had found out, they would have murdered him. You know, for us, we don't really think about things like that, but it was quite touch and go with the whole thing. So I bought 50 boxes of chocolates from a Palestinian little shop around the hotel. We bought 50 holding crosses because people use them in hospital to hold on to something to give them comfort. And I found 50 shampoos that I'd collected over 2 weeks. And I said, "God, you know, please help us. We've not got a translator. What are we going to do?" So we found a taxi driver called Charlie, who was another converted Muslim to Christianity. So he picked us up, and we went to somewhere in the Mount of Olives. I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know what to say, and there was 50 Gazan men and women who looked terrified, because I'm sure they thought I was going to preach to them. But I said, "You know what? You're Muslim, we're Christians, and today I want to show the love of God." And we were there for half an hour, and those people were so happy. They were hugging us and thanking us for the chocolates, and I was even told they'd throw us the cross at us, but it was the love that we shared. And God really spoke to me and said, "Elaine, we need to show the love of God. to these people, God is the judge, but we need to share the love. And this is what I wanted to share with you today, because all of us, whatever faith, whether we're Jewish or Christian or whatever, we need to share the love of God, because that's what it's about. Let God do the judging and everything else, because that's what it's about. And that's why I thank Len and Paul for the work that we've done to build bridges. Thank you.
Thank you.